Quickly recap all the numbers that are currently out. The staff cost as well on a sequential basis has gone down in the fourth quarter, 47.87 versus 48.40. The Q4 revenues in dollar terms has come in at $1771 million versus a comparable of 1806, and they've missed the Q4 dollar guidance. We're still waiting for the press release to actually come out so that we can talk a little bit more about the guidance picture and get you some more details. Of course, the industry-wise segment growth has come in. The geographical segment growth as well. North America has seen a decline by a good 4% on a sequential basis and 4.1% in constant currency terms. Europe, just a very marginal uptick there, 0.2% on a sequential basis and 0.8% in constant. And the rest of the world has shown a growth of 5.2% sequentially and 2.5% in constant currency terms. Quickly want to talk about the industry-wise segment growth as well. The financials vertical declined 4.6% sequentially. MFG, that grew 2.2%. RCL declined 2.9%, and ECS as well has seen a decline of 0.3%. Bhavan Suri as well joins in to talk more about those numbers. He joins in from William Blair and Company LLC. Bhavan, hi. First take on the numbers. On a sequential basis, they seem a bit disappointing, whereas on a year-on-year basis, it seems like they've done okay.
Yeah, and I think, obviously with these businesses, sequential growth is what matters. Year-over-year comps can vary depending on how they did last year-over-year. But sequentially, a little disappointing on the top line and a little disappointing on the profits. I haven't seen guidance yet. Have you seen guidance?
Not come out till now, Bhavan. That's what we are waiting for. But go ahead. What is it that you're expecting from the guidance?
I think in dollar terms, we're probably looking for, 9 to 11, 10 to 12% growth. In rupee terms, probably closer to 14% growth, both below consensus, U.S. and India-based consensus estimates. And then, the bigger concern is what do they guide for margins? If you recall, last year, they guided margins down 300 basis points at this point in the stock, definitely gapped down. And, my concern has been that the revenue guidance might be a little light, and I think people might look through it and say conservative, and they might outperform. But if the margin guidance is weak, then I do worry that the stock then moves down too.
Okay, but bear in mind that Infosys has managed to miss their rupee guidance. That's largely a function of currency, because last time when they indicated or outlined the Q4 rupee guidance or revenue guidance, rupee was at 52, but the average currency, the currency movement for the quarter gone by, which is Q4 FY12, was about 50.2. So obviously that currency disadvantage would have really acted as a big handicap for Infosys Technologies, and that really explains that why they have missed their rupee guidance. Bhavan, so what's the real story behind these numbers? What's the most important data pointers which you would be monitoring?
So, I think the biggest key piece, as you said, is excluding currency. What was volume growth in the quarter? See, they had more billing days in the quarter. They also had the benefit of acquisitions in the quarter. And so as soon as we can extract the rupee, I suspect volume growth was still a little muted. Even if it was up 1% sequentially, it's not great. And then I think the other challenge you have is the next thing we'll be monitoring is, what does revenue and operating margin guidance look like for fiscal 13, coupled with, are they hiring more people, and sort of what does that imply? Because if the number of hires exceeds sort of growth, it gives you a sense of how conservative they're being.
Right.
Also, the number of new customers added will be an indication of what potential growth in the back half of the year is. Mm-hmm. I do suspect you'll see they'll talk about lack of visibility in the back half of the year, and that's why they're being a little conservative. But if there's lack of visibility in the back half of the year, the number of new customers added may help us.